Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, I hope you guys on a good condition right now, as today is the continuation of our event. So yesterday we have met an outstanding speakers too, and today we meet our outstanding speakers, Mr. Aryo Muhammad and Mr. Ramli Awang Mursyid, which they both released their famous selling books in Indonesia and in Malaysia. So I hope you guys keep fighting and keep your enthusiasm during this session. Before we begin our main agenda, I would like to read our agenda today. The first agenda is opening. The second agenda is our main agenda, our webinar, which will be delivered by our outstanding speakers. The third agenda is quiz. The fourth agenda is best participant announcement. So before we had this webinar, we had a 30 days literacy challenge, which participated by 100 youth from all over the world. And the last agenda is closing. Okay, I have a complaint here. The sound is low. Is it right, or is it okay for you, my voice? Okay.
I still can hear you, but yeah, I think it's better to louder your voice, but I still can hear you.
I should change my device. Oh, sorry, sir, for this inconvenience. Okay, let me change my device first. Check, is it okay right now, my voice? Okay. I'm sorry guys for the inconvenience. It's unexpected problems, yeah? Unexpected problems, okay. So, let's begin our agenda today. And before, I want to introduce our moderator. We have two moderators here. Our first moderator is Arfianti Shafira. Arfi is a very outstanding woman I know. Arfi is our event manager in the Skillet Fighter 1.0. She just graduated this year, majoring in nursing in Universitas Indonesia. It's the best university in Indonesia. And currently, she is doing her internship in Bukit Vista as HR intern. Fun fact about her favorite author is Dan Brown. And our second moderator is Fauzi. Fauzi is our event manager of Creativo Malaysia. Look old but still young. No, but for me, he still look young. One of vice president of student leader board in SMK Taman Molek, Malaysia. He is very talkative and happy. Yeah, he brings a good vibe around us. You should know him personally. Fun fact about him is he loves writing and still work on his first book to publish. He is also Tuan Ramli Awang Mursyid and PD Baik fans. Wow, so this even unite the fans and Tuan Ramli Awang Mursyid. And I should add fun fact about Fauzi, that Fauzi is look alike with Mr. Hotman Paris Hutapea. So if you are Indonesian, I thought that you know who is Mr. Hotman Paris. And when Fauzi used eyeglasses, he really looks like with Mr. Hotman Paris Hutapea. Okay, so let's just get started. For the moderators, the time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Avel, for the introduction. Okay, hello guys. My name is Arfi. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Pak Aryo and Pak Ramli. So I will be the moderator for the first session with Pak Aryo. Yes, I love Dan Brown's work, but I love Robert Langdon Dun, the character, more than the author. So yeah, that's fun fact about me. Let's start for the first session. We will have the presentation from Pak Aryo, but first I will introduce Pak Aryo first to the participants. Okay, so Pak Aryo is a researcher and also an author to 14 popular books. Pak Aryo finished his studies from Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, his master in National Taiwan University of Science and Technology, and the latest he finished his PhD in University of Bristol, where he also took a role of researcher. And then he also have received many awards in form of scholarship and grants, and also have published 7 papers, academic papers in reputable international journal Scopus Indexed, 2 books chapters, and also 10 conference papers. To add, Pak Aryo ini is an author, but he is also a father to an author. So yeah, he is the most credible person to talk about the how to develop literacy education at home. So Pak Aryo, the time is yours.
Thank you very much. I think, can you allow me to share my presentation today? I think that would be great. First of all, it's interesting see all of you. I mean, it's like a mix it up between Indonesia and Malaysia. I do remember when I was in UK, most of my friends, I mean, most of my close friends are actually from Malaysia, and we played badminton together most of the time. And then they regularly invite me to eat at their place. So it's very nice to meet some Malaysian here, and then we also meet some Indonesian here. So I will speak in mix it up in my presentation. Sometimes I will speak Bahasa and sometimes I will speak in English. But please allow me to share my presentation. Can you stop sharing your screen? I think then I can share my screen. Okay, I think. Okay, now I can screen. Wait a moment. Wait. Can you see now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can see
Okay,
it.
that's good. So first of all, my name is Aryo. As the moderator introduced me first, I'm going to talk about developing literacy education at home, specifically in reading and writing. If you look in this picture here, I have 2 kids. The first one is this boy is actually Deliang. He is also an author. And then this girl is named Daisy, now is 3.5 years old. And I think our experience on how growing up these 2 kids in our home and then making them love writing, specifically Deliang, and then loves reading, is something that worth to share to everybody. And hopefully we can learn a lot from our experiences, as well as for me, I think it's a time to reflect what I can do better for my family in the future. But first of all, allow me to start a good news, which is actually, I mean, next month, my son will launch his first 4 novels, but it is actually has been published in Amazon. So right now he's open order. He published 3 comedy novels with the title A Tale of Jay, and then 1 fantasy novel named Regal. So we published in 2 languages, which is in Bahasa and English next year, which is in January, 14th of January. But in Amazon, we only publish in English. And the good news is this title, which is Quirky Friends, this is incorrect cover anyway. This is Andre Fashion cover. Quicker Friends has been ranked number 25 in Amazon.com, which is amazing. We didn't expect that. In category of humor or dark comedy, and Weird Family is also coming into number 33 in his best ranking. So I think you might want to read this one, and you can contact this number to order the books. Anyway, let's go back to what I'm going to talking today. The first thing is I would like to focus on how we develop a good reading habits in our home, and then we move up to my experiences on training the Liang on how to writing. Yang pertama saya akan coba sharing soal bagaimana kami mengembangkan anak-anak kami supaya suka membaca. Kemudian yang kedua akan saya membahas tentang bagaimana kami membuat the Liang bisa menjadi seorang penulis di usianya yang baru 8 tahun. In his 8 years old, he published like 4 novels, and actually this is his 7th book. So he already published illustrating books, 3 of them, in the beginning of this year. So first of all, if we discuss about how we develop a reading habit at home, then one thing that I would like to say in the beginning is actually we should start early. Kita harus memulai dengan sangat awal ya, sangat dari usia yang sangat dini gitu ya. Bahkan it is highly recommended to start when the baby is still in 7 days. It's not 7 months. I want to highlight that part. It is 7 days. So I do remember Daisy has been introduced to the book when she was 7 days old. The story is because when my wife delivered the baby in Bristol, we got the gift, which is one of them is actually baby book. And the baby book contain of shape, and then as well as the expression of baby, when they smile, when they angry, such kind of things. And then when we introduced these books to Daisy about 7 days old, then she was getting engaged with the content of the book. Jadi pertama kali kami mau mengenalkan buku kepada Daisy itu dari awal sekali sejak dia berumur 7 tahun. And starting from that point, wherever we go, we always bring books. When she was crying, specifically when she was between 1 month old to 1 year old, we always give her book, then she stopped crying. So that's the first things that you need to understand or need to do when you want to start reading. I mean, if I know some of them, most of you are younger, and of course you don't have family, but if you do have nephew, you do have brothers and sisters who already married and they have kids, please introduce them, your nephew, to books as early as possible, because this is really crucial. I know that some women already introduce books when they are still pregnant. But in my opinion, I think when as a Muslim in pregnant moment, I think it is very best to introduce Quran rather than the books gitu ya. I know that maybe kalau kalian punya waktu, of course you can add extra moment to introduce books, but I think Quran is the most important or the most fundamental one. And then after starting earlier, I think masalah terbesar yang terjadi saat ini, specifically in Indonesia, one of the biggest issues specifically in Indonesia is actually the books read by the kids right now is actually bought by the parents or decided by the parents. This is something that I disagree a lot. I think when we try to buy books for kids, then we must buy books which the kids love it. I mean, harus buku yang anak yang suka gitu ya, bukan orang tua yang suka gitu kan. Sekarang mungkin banyak buku anak-anak di rumah, tapi buku-buku tersebut dipilih para orang tua, which is not really good in my opinion. And you could clearly see from the Kids and Family Report 8 editions, which is recently, it's clearly stated about 90% of kids from the age 6 to 17 highly agree that they will love the books that they choose. So not the parents choose by themselves. So they need to pick out by themselves. And then you can clearly see here that the frequent reader actually easy to define what books they want to read compared to infrequent reader, 60% compared to 30%. And boys and girls, you could clearly see here that probably girls loves more than boys, because you can clearly see here that girls didn't really find difficult in order to define the book that they would like to read. It is about 40% compared to about almost 50% for the boys. Jadi memang kita perlu memilih buku yang disukai oleh anak-anak. And then the second thing that I need to highlight is actually what kind of books that the kids love. So based on the report in Kids and Family Reading Report, is actually the books that the kids love is having good stories and make them laugh. I do remember when Delian grew up, one of his favorite books, I mean, he reads probably like 12 or 15 times. It is actually A Diary of Wimpy Kids. It is very hilarious. It is very good book. I mean, I think the author is very genius, because how come he can create such a story, which is very genius and very laughs by the kid, and then it still have a humor sense, but at the same time a lot of message to the kids that they can learn. I think that's amazing, and I think good stories is something that the kids find. And then another important one is make them laugh. Jadi memang ketika kita mencari buku, kita harus mencari buku yang ceritanya menarik dan membuat mereka tertawa gitu ya. Why I put these three covers of my son's book, because A Tale of Jay is actually a comedy novel. It is very hilarious, specifically Quirky Friends, who rank number 25 in Amazon, because it's very funny. I mean, the story about his friends and all the hilarious things or all the accidents that occurred in Jefferson's life is very interesting when the kids read. So I think when you choose the book for the kids, we need to find a good stories and make them laugh. And then, what kind of characters now? So if we discuss about the book that picked by the kids, and then what kind of books that they like, and what characters that the kids generally loves to read. So based on the report, with the same report, it is actually the character who are smart, brave, or strong, or who face a challenge and overcome it are the most popular among kids. So such kind of characters in the books, we need to find out when you would like to choose the books for the kids. So when you pick up one of the books in Amazon or in the bookshops or in library, try to look up the characters, whether it is smart, brave, or strong, or face a challenge, and then they can overcome it. And then this is Artemis Fowl, which is Delian software book. It has 8 series, and then it has like 2,000, almost 3,000 pages with 500K words. And Delian loves this so much because the character is very brave and strong. And then he create one character by his own, which is Regal, which is smart, brave, and strong as well. So you could clearly see from the perspective of the kids, which is Delian, actually such a character is very interesting for them. And then another issue that another thing that we can do in order to introduce books to the kids, kita harus sering-sering ke library or bookshops gitu ya. I knew that currently is COVID-19 when everything is very hard. I mean, the world is going very slowly and weird at the same time. But I know that it doesn't stop us to introduce the book to the kids. I mean, we can buy online right now from Amazon or any places, any platform. And then I do remember that one of our habit is actually going to library and bookshops almost once in 2 days. Like setiap kali Delian pulang dari sekolah di Inggris, kami selalu singgah di charity shop, di buku shop yang sangat murah atau toko buku yang sangat murah, karena sangat murah buku-buku di sana gitu, dengan harga 20.000 atau 1 pound gitu kita bisa mendapatkan buku gitu ya. And then we do that regularly. So go to library and bookshops. And then this is like one of the pictures in our house in England. We do have 2,000 books at home, where 1,500 books are our children books. And then you could see that the books are everywhere. I know in toilet is not really good for Muslim, but you know, when they are in toilet, they are so long. Specifically, they are poo, when they poo. So normally they ask us to bring books in toilet. So they normally read that. And this is very bad habit, already disappeared when they went back to Indonesia right now. But when you see our home in England, you could see books are everywhere. Even they make them as a source of playing or a game. Jadi memang buku itu di rumah, di sekeliling kami itu ada semua. Ya. And then reading together and reading time is like very important. We normally reading together before sleep. And then I normally pick them up to go out, like in the garden in Indonesia. We go to the a forest, like city forest, and then we read together as well. I bring my book, they bring their book, and then they can read together. So reading time and reading together is very essential as well. and then research and invest. So me and my wife, we are regularly doing a research to define what kind of books that can be read by our kids. I think my time is almost done. Am I right?
Yes, Pak.
Yeah, okay.
It's okay,
Please
you
give
can
me 5
continue.
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, please give me
it's
5
okay.
minutes. Yeah, and then resist and invest. I think when we had a problem where Deli Young finished most of his books, then we start to do a lot of research regarding the book. So we keep reading and updating all the new books and old book or classic book that are very interested for the kids. And then invest more. We invest about almost 100 juta ya, 100 million rupiah, sampai harus we have to cancel to buy some secondary needs just to invest the books for the kids gitu ya. Jadi memang invest more is very important. And then this is how long do you need to read? Actually, from the data, you just need to read 60 minutes per day. That's like more than enough in order to be a frequent reader. But if you want to increase like 1.5 hours, that would be great. And this is like the average time reading by Deliang and Daisy, which is about 1.5 hours per day. So it's very short anyway, but you can read almost 5 million words when you read 90 minutes per day. And now I'm gonna share you my experience regarding making Deliang as a writer. I'm gonna just make this as a brief explanations to end my speech. Bagaimana saya membuat Deliang bisa menulis. So I believe that the first thing is as a parent, as a person, we need to change our mindset. We need to believe that success is a process, and then privilege is only a starting point. What I mean is, if you are in unfortunate situation, it doesn't mean that you couldn't be a succeed person. It is only a starting point. The way when you are going to the end point, it needs a lot of hard work. Everyone can do it, but do they want to work hard for it? That's a big question. Jadi kita perlu mengubah mindset kita, dan ini sangat penting ya, kita menyadari bahwa kesuksesan itu adalah proses, dan setiap orang bisa melakukannya selama mereka mau bekerja keras. And then we start teaching Deliang writing by writing a diary. So I do remember when he was starting to write, he already know how to write, because in England they start to teach letters and such kind of things until reading when they are 4 years old in reception. So he started to do writing a diary when he was like about 6, I think. And then someday, at some points, I found out that he's really talented in writing or making a good stories. That's at that point when I realized that my son have a talent in writing. So that's because of a diary. So starting from a diary. And then writing training with Deliang. If you would like to see these pictures later on, you can read. This is one of his first story, his fantasy story about Clementine. It is very, the writing style is not really proper. And then the story is like very unclear, or there is no path to the end, or the imagination is too much or unbelievable. Such kind of things is in the beginning day when I trained Deliang writing. But by the time goes by, he started to be a better writer. You could clearly see from after 1 year later from this writing, when he write a fantasy story named Regal, this is much, much better. You can see like he can write like the family consisted of a lazy, beautiful older sister, a weird-looking boy, a protective, intelligent mother, and a heartily true-hearted father. And then he also write down here like the charming sky turned into a darkness filled with turquoise light hitting the ground in less than a millisecond. This is all Deliang's writing. I didn't include anything from my writing here because I couldn't write in English other than writing a journal or academic paper. I couldn't write fiction or non-fiction in English. So this is very interesting on see his progress. And the last thing that I would like to say to you, that when you try a kids to be a writer, is he needs to read a lot of books. This year, Deliang reads more than 100 books, and then probably more than 2 million words. So like I could clearly see his vocabulary, the way he writes is significantly improved compared to 1 year later or 2 years. 1 year ago or 2 years ago. I think that's all what I'm gonna say. Thank you so much. I'm gonna stop the share screen. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Aryo, untuk the inspiring presentation. I know that our participants have questions, but save your question first. You can type your question in the chat box, and we will answer you in the Q&A session. Okay, Pak Aryo, you have a time to promote your children's book, Deliang's books.
I think I don't need to because I have presented
Oh, okay.
in the beginning of the that's fine.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I will pass this session to Fauzi. Fauzi?
Arvi, so everyone hear my voice?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's kind of lagging.
Everyone hear my voice?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's clear now.
Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Muhammad Fauzi. At the first, our Master of Ceremony have already introduced me. So we're going to go to the second slot is with Tuan Ramli Awang Mushik. And the topic that we're going to discuss for the early morning is the how to publish amazing book. So I think many of you have dream you want to publish a book, kan? Ada sesetengah daripada kita nak ada buku sendiri. Jadi sebelum saya teruskan, kita akan mengenali dengan lebih rapat siapakah sosok Tuan Ramli Awang Mushik ini. Okay, so Tuan Ramli Awang Mushik first started his career in broadcasting. He's a producer to be a writer in 1990, and he worked with Araf 21 and Buku Prima, and also Utusan published, and until now, 2020, he always making an amazing thriller book that you have to, I think you have the one of his book at your house. And some of his book already in the movie. If you want to watch, you guys can type Tombiro, the one of his book already in the movie. He has a lot of skills, not only in writing. He is a content maker and also a producer. So we were going to ask Tuan Ramli how his journey to be, we call in Malaysia, we call him Master of Thriller Book. Okay, Tuan Ramli, can open your mic.
Ya. Dengar.
Assalamualaikum, Tuan Ramli.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. So my first question is, we know that you were starting with broadcasting, your first career, and then you go to become a writer. So what is that make you change your career? Jadi kita tahu yang pada mulanya Tuan Ramli itu bekerja sebagai dalam bidang penyiaran, kan? Jadi seorang penulis. Jadi apa yang sebenarnya membuatkan Tuan Ramli nak mengubah Tuan Ramli punya kerjaya?
Okay, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Muhammad Fauzi, moderator kita. Boleh saya cakap bahasa Malaysia? Okey, sebenarnya saya bermula dengan jawatan penyiaran di Malaysia dan itu tak jauh sangat dengan bidang penulisan. Saya menulis dulu, baru saya terlibat dalam penyiaran, di mana saya pernah menjadi DJ Konti Radio dan kemudian jadi penerbit dokumentari di Jabatan Penyiaran di Malaysia. Dan saya sekian lama menghabiskan masa saya dalam bidang penulisan. Cuma apabila saya merasa kesibukan dalam bidang penyiaran itu jauh berat berbanding saya menulis, sedangkan jiwa saya lebih kepada menulis, lama-kelamaan saya pun rasa macam agak sudah tak sesuai untuk terus dalam bidang penyiaran ini. Walaupun bidang penyiaran ini membawa saya ke mana-mana negara, Mesir, Arab Saudi, semua tempat saya pergi atas nama penyiaran, dan saya sebagai wartawan saya follow our Prime Minister, our Agung untuk liputan luar negara. Tapi kenapa saya memilih untuk menulis? Sebab jiwa saya lebih kepada kreatif. Kalau penulisan dalam bidang penyiaran, dia lebih kepada fakta. Tapi ingin saya tekankan di sini bahawa saya mengasuh diri saya, mengasuh waktu-waktu saya dalam bidang penulisan, to polish my writing, menerusi wartawan. Saya reporter dalam hampir dekat 20 tahun. Jadi di sinilah saya mempertajamkan gaya penulisan saya, apapun semua. Dan akhirnya apabila saya rasa macam masa itu saling berlomba-lomba untuk merebut dalam satu jasad ini, saya rasa saya kena ambil keputusan di mana arah minat saya. So saya memilih untuk option, dan saya memilih untuk menulis sepenuh masa, menjadi Mr. Mama sepenuh masa, dan juga saya jadi producer sepenuh masa. Jadi ini 3 bahagian, 3 kategori yang saya kena persiapkan. Maksudnya apabila kita dalam shooting film, sekarang COVID kan, jadi kita rehat dulu. Saya menulis di rumah, dan setiap tahun saya akan menghasilkan 2 novel, dan di samping saya buat kerja di rumah, saya juga membuat kerja-kerja rumah sebagai Mr. Mama. Jadi bagi saya ini semakin lama semakin biasa menempuh hidup seperti ini. Jadi itulah saya sekarang. Cuma untuk pengetahuan saudara-saudari semua, tuan-tuan, bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu, saya sebenarnya kita akan syuting untuk the next film, insyaAllah tahun depan, insyaAllah. Mudah-mudahan Allah mengizinkan untuk kita terus, skrip sudah ada, apa semua. Cuma untuk kita dapat green light saja dari Finas. Bila itu dapat, kita move on. Ya, Muhammad Fauzi.
Okay, jadi untuk soalan kedua ni, dia lebih kepada kenapa kita panggil Tuan Ramli sebagai Master of Thriller Book. Jadi banyak buku-buku Tuan Ramli tu diangkat dan dianugerahkan oleh beberapa badan-badan kerajaan kan. Jadi apakah, boleh tak Tuan Ramli kongsi tips yang macam mana buku Tuan Ramli tu boleh jadi best seller, boleh jadi buku terbaik. Macam boleh tak Tuan Ramli kongsi dengan kami semua tips-tips mungkin yang kami boleh cuba lepas ni bagi mereka yang baru nak mula dan berjinak-jinak dalam bidang penulisan.
Okay, InsyaAllah. Sebenarnya saya bermula dengan penulis skrip, skenario. Halo, dengar? Saya bermula dengan menulis skrip drama radio, skenario, ya, drama radio di Jabatan Penyiaran. So baru saya masuk dalam bidang novel, itu pun secara cuba-cuba. Jadi apabila saya merasa saya boleh menulis novel itu, okey, saya teruskanlah sampai ke hari ini, sampai daripada my hometown is Sabah. So I transfer pergi Kuala Lumpur, dan saya bermastautin di Kuala Lumpur lah sekarang. Yang mana saya sebenarnya sebelum saya menceburkan diri dalam bidang penulisan, saya lebih seorang pembaca yang tegar. Seperti Pak Aryo kata, saya membaca di mana-mana pun saya baca. Cuma bacaan saya tidak hanya pada novel, tapi bacaan saya kepada koran, ya, paper, juga buku-buku ilmiah, skrip, dan apapun jenis novel lagi lah. Memang novel adalah favorite saya lah. Dan saya bertemu dengan ramai penulis di Malaysia. Saya mencadangkan supaya anda membuat ini, membuat itu. Tapi ialah yang saya bercakap ini, mereka sudah ada buku apa semua, dan saya lebih menekankan pada teori question mark. Tapi ialah nasihat saya tidak diterima sebab I'm itu youngest masa itu terlalu muda dan saya memberi nasihat kepada orang yang sudah senior. Jadi akhirnya saya mengambil keputusan kenapa tidak saya menulis. Okay, my father is seorang pegawai penjara di Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Dan di sana saya bertemu pesalah ya yang orang terpidana kalau dalam bahasa Indonesia, banduan apa semualah, prisoner. Jadi dari itu saya minat lebih kepada thriller apa semua, sebab waktu zaman saya bermula ramai penulis lebih memilih genre pembangunan, pertanian moden. Jadi ia merupakan satu bacaan yang mendatar. Jadi saya pun mengeluarkan satu formula iaitu formula question mark. Formula question mark ini saya mengambil iktibar daripada kejadian di langit, iaitu waktu penciptaan Adam Adam dan Hawa di syurga. Dan Allah kata, okey, syurga ini luas, syurga ini kamu punya, cuma jangan hampiri pokok itu. Adam alaihissalam dan Hawa selalu berfikir, kenapa Allah larang? Kenapa? Itu dari sanalah saya memetik permulaannya, iaitu question mark. Kita manusia ini, kita tak tahan dengan question mark, pertanyaan. Kenapa, mengapa, bagaimana, bila. Itu kita sebagai fitrahnya manusia, kita tak akan tahan dengan benda-benda seperti itu. Jadi formula seperti itu, konsep seperti itu saya terapkan dalam novel. Jadi maka itu lahirlah novel saya yang berbentuk thriller dan mesti ada question mark. Question mark inilah yang mendorong kita supaya untuk terus meneruskan pembacaan. Pada masa yang sama kita pembaca, our reader terbuai dengan plot-plot yang kita sajikan, dan akhirnya mereka tidak akan terasa. Rupanya cerita itu sudah sampai ke ending. Dan saya juga membahagikan kalau dalam tubuh manusia, sama juga dalam saya mengambil iktibar ini sebagai satu penceritaan. Contohnya kepala ini intro, badan kita adalah isi, itu story, dan sebelah kaki kita adalah ending. Tapi akhir-akhir ini saya mengubah intro, isi, konten dan juga twist. Maksudnya twist itu menjadi elemen penting dalam ending. Dan setiap ending itu perlu ada rumusan, kesimpulannya. Benda-benda gitulah saya lakukan sampai ke hari ini. Dan sewaktu saya di universitas, saya mempelajari dalam bidang psikologi dan saya banyak menelaah tentang psikologi perilaku manusia. Kenapa manusia suka itu, kenapa manusia tak suka ini. Jadi benda-benda seperti ini, ilmu-ilmu seperti ini saya terapkan dalam penulisan, dan alhamdulillah benda ini berhasil mengajak pembaca untuk menelusuri story yang saya persembahkan kepada mereka. Sampai ke hari ini alhamdulillah story itu bergerak dan pembaca saya pun berpuas hati, dan semakin lama semakin bertambah. Di sinilah lahirnya komunikasi. Bila komunikasi ini adalah marketing sebenarnya. Apabila satu orang suka, mereka akan bercakap. Tapi kalau bagi saya marketing yang paling saya pada permulaan itu, marketing yang paling saya hendak menawan adalah pembaca golongan perempuan, wanita, Hawa. Sebab mereka ini adalah pembaca-pembaca yang tegar berbanding lelaki. Jadi wanita ini sebenarnya merupakan kita punya marketing yang sangat baik sekali. Sebab mereka akan bercerita, story ini baik, buku ini bagus, apa semua. Dan akhirnya sampai ke hari ini, strategi itu menjadi, alhamdulillah, terima kasih kepada semua pembaca, terima kasih kepada wanita, terima kasih kepada pembaca lelaki, semuanya. Terima kasih.
Jadi saya dapat petik dekat sini yang kita semua boleh tahu mungkin dengan teknik question mark. Okay, semua participants, maybe if you want to publish book, you have your question mark. You have to asking yourself what I need, what the next book, what the storyline, what is happen next. So that's a good technique that maybe you can use in your book. So I also learned in school, maybe if you're writing your essay, you can add on this technique in your essay, and it make your essay very, very nice to read. Is the question mark. Okay, so we're going to ask the next question. Tuan Ramli, maybe you have in your mind, maybe you want to publish your English version book, maybe you want to publish your book outside of Malaysia, maybe in Indonesia, maybe in Singapore, maybe in Brunei, the other country, and maybe maybe you can grow your publishing. So do you have any in your mind maybe? Jadi Tuan Ramli tu ada tak terfikir nak keluarkan buku dalam bahasa Inggeris? Mungkin ada juga terfikir nak keluarkan buku dekat negara-negara luar macam Indonesia, Singapura dan juga negara-negara lain, negara-negara Asia lah yang mempunyai bahasa yang sama.
Ya, sebenarnya buku-buku saya telah sampai ke Singapura, Brunei, dan juga di mana ada pembaca-pembaca Malaysian. Buku itu sebenarnya dibawa oleh orang-orang Malaysia sendiri. Tapi kita ada market yang cukup baik di Singapura dan juga Brunei. Kita cuba juga di Indonesia hari itu, cuma agak masih dalam graf mendatar. Dan saya pernah mencuba untuk dalam bahasa Inggeris, iaitu Adam, terjemahannya ada Personal Justice. Tapi agak kurang untuk menembusi pasaran antarabangsa. Saya mengambil iktibar bahawa mungkin rezeki saya belum sampai ke arah itu. Sebab bukan semua yang kita impikan akan berhasil, mungkin teralih kepada rezeki-rezeki yang lain. Bagaimanapun, kita pun dalam tim Ramai FC sedang berusaha sekarang untuk menembusi pasaran pasaran luar negara menerusi terjemahan-terjemahan. Saya mampu kata terjemahan-terjemahan saja. Sebab untuk mengarang dalam bahasa Inggeris, pertama, saya buru-buru. Banyak masa yang saya perlukan untuk studi sebab dalam keadaan nahu yang perlu. Jadi apa yang kita mampu adalah terjemahan dan kemudian kita kena cari ejen-ejen di Malaysia yang boleh membawa karya-karya ini ke peringkat lebih jauh, seperti beberapa penulis Jepun yang berjaya di Britain sekarang ini dan beberapa penulis-penulis dari Afrika yang berjaya di Britain. Mereka ini menggunakan hikmat-hikmat penterjemahan. Sebab sebenarnya masa itulah. Jadi masa yang saya memilih untuk menulis dalam bahasa Malaysia dan menulis screenplay untuk film adaptasi. Saya memilih untuk itu. Jadi untuk ke dalam bahasa Inggris, saya memilih untuk membuat translation. Jadi kita akan hire orang untuk membuat benda itu dan kita akan hire untuk agent untuk membawa benda-benda ini. Tapi setakat ini masih di peringkat gerak kerja lah. Belum mencapai kejayaan sepenuhnya. Kalau untuk cuma buku-buku di Singapura, di Brunei, insya-Allah sudah berkembang pesat. InsyaAllah juga akan sampai ke Indonesia dan juga ke negara-negara lain. Cuma apa yang penting adalah kalau kita ke Thailand perlu dalam bahasa Thailand. Kalau kita dia agak kurang dalam bahasa global. Tapi kalau untuk kita mencari titik pusatnya adalah di Amerika Syarikat dan juga Britain, dalam bahasa globalnya bahasa Inggris. Jadi ya kita ke arah itu, cuma belum menampakkan hasil lagi. Jadi sementara untuk menunggu hasilnya kita tuai, kita fokus dulu dalam negara, insyaAllah.
Jadi Tuan Ramli memang ada lah dalam pemikiran Tuan Ramli tu nak publish buku dekat Indonesia, tapi masih belum dapat mungkin cara terbaik ataupun mungkin belum ada lagi syarikat-syarikat yang nak ambil karya Tuan Ramli. Jadi kami mungkin berdoa mungkin lepas ni pembaca daripada Indonesia mungkin boleh dapat baca buku Tuan Ramli. So kita akan pergi ke soalan seterusnya.
Okay.
Jadi what is your advice maybe for the beginner of writer? If they want to publish their own book, maybe what your advice? I think many of here the participants, they have their own maybe they want to publish their own book. Also, I also want to publish my own book. So what is your advice to all?
Okay, pertama-tama sekali kita perlu mempunyai impian untuk publish kita punya buku sendiri. Sebab sekarang ini zaman sudah berubah. Kalau dulu kita harus memberikan kepada beberapa penerbit rasmi seperti Dewan Bahasa dan Pustaka. Tapi sejak pertengahan tahun 90-an, ramai yang telah pun membuka syarikat-syarikat sendiri, penerbitan sendiri. Dan akhirnya ke tahun 2000-an ke atas ini, ramai penulis yang publish sendiri, memandangkan media sosial ini menjadi satu instrumen untuk menjual buku-buku mereka. Nasihat saya yang pertama adalah selalu yang diabaikan oleh ramai penulis, yaitu berdoa. Doa ini merupakan satu komunikasi kita antara manusia dengan pencipta kita. Ini kita perlu kukuhkan hubungan dengan Allah Ta'ala, dengan pencipta kita. Kemudian apabila kita balik kepada kehidupan dunia, kita perlukan tim yang baik. Kalau macam saya beruntung, saya mempunyai tim RMFC sebab saya lebih kepada produk, mereka yang mengedar, mencetak apa semualah. Mereka jual online apa semua. Jadi benda-benda ginilah yang sebenarnya memerlukan kekuatan kerjasama yang baik. Tapi sebelum itu saya di bawah grup buku Kerang Craft. Tapi bagaimanapun dua-dua cabang ini pun boleh kita ambil, kita handalkan sebagai memainkan peranan kita. Of course sekali, kalau kita sebagai seorang penulis untuk terbit buku sendiri, kita perlu fokus kepada produk kita sendiri, dan tim kita perlu fokus kepada cetak, penerbitan, penjualan online apa semua. Jadi kalau kita satu orang yang buat, hasilnya sangat serabutan. Kita juga produk, kita juga yang menerbit, kita juga yang marketing, serabutan. Jadi cara yang terbaik adalah kita mempunyai tim yang baik untuk ke arah itu. InsyaAllah. Fauzi.
Kita nampak ada beberapa soalan daripada mereka. Ada juga soalan daripada speaker pertama kita, Pak Aryo.
Ya.
Jadi ini mungkin soalan yang terakhir daripada saya, iaitu
Dengar.
Tuan Ramli nak publish buku pertama Tuan Ramli publish tu, apakah lepas ni ada beberapa cara untuk mereka mengatasi?
Saya tak berapa clear, Fauzi. Tak berapa clear tadi. Boleh ulang soalan tak? Can you repeat the question? Ya. Echo.
Jadi masalah yang dihadapi oleh Tuan Ramli masa pertama kali nak keluarkan buku pertama tu, mungkin masalah tu akan dihadapi oleh beberapa penulis lain pada mulanya, dan macam mana Tuan Ramli selesaikan masalah tu?
Sebenarnya saya tak menyelesaikan masalah, Fauzi. Yang menyelesaikan masalah adalah tim saya. Saya lebih kepada produk. Jadi mereka lah yang bertungkus lumus untuk merealisasikan impian ini. So kalau macam saya dalam Trump Typewriter, saya beruntung sebab Ram FC yang menguruskan segala-galanya. Tapi kepada masalah storyline, itu bahagian saya. Tapi untuk penerbitan, itu masalah yang harus diandalkan oleh tim lah, Ram FC lah. Sebab seperti saya katakan awal tadi, kalau saya juga buat A, buat B, buat C, semua saya kena buat. Jadi saya tak ada, bukan saya tak boleh buat, tapi serabutan. Kita jadi serabutan. Sebab itu kita kena fokus. Kita perlu ada tim yang baik. Dan saya lebih fokus kepada menghasilkan karya, dan tim tu perlu fokus dalam penerbitan dan penjualan. Ya, Fauzi.
Jadi tadi mungkin Tuan Ramli ada cerita tentang masalah storyline. Pernah tak Tuan Ramli menghadapi iaitu macam bila tengah tulis penjalan ceritaan tu tiba-tiba blank, kita blur, tak tahu, macam tiba-tiba kosong. Apa yang Tuan Ramli buat bila menghadapi situasi macam tu?
Ya, soalan yang baik, Fauzi. Soalan yang baik. Dulu sewaktu saya mula-mula menulis, saya selalu menghadapi writer block seperti itu. Jadi ada bermacam-macam kaedah lain saya buat. Sama ada saya rehat, saya cuti, apa semua. Tapi saya menjumpai satu formula yang paling mujarobat, paling mujarab. Kyo lah, satu Kyo punya formula lah untuk menghilangkan writer block. Seperti saya katakan tadi, doa lah. Doa. Mungkin ini agak keagamaan sikit, tapi akhirnya sebab ada orang senior yang mengatakan kepada saya, kalau anda writer block, anda solat 2 rakaat, minta pada Allah. Jadi itulah yang saya buat sekarang, saya lakukan sekarang. Sampai sekarang saya tak mengalami writer block. Alhamdulillah. Tapi dulu sangat teruk dilanda writer block. Tapi sejak saya amalkan kaedah ini, saya tak pernah writer block lagi. Kalau saya berhenti pun saya penat saja. Tapi idea mengalir macam air yang air yang mengalir lah. Jadi kaedahnya, mungkin kaedahnya ada setengah orang boleh macam tu apa semua. Tapi hakikatnya itulah doa. Okey, untuk menambah ilmu dari segi fitrah manusia, itu hubungan kita dengan Allah, doa. Kedua adalah kita banyak membaca. Seperti Pak Aryo kata tadi, kita banyak membaca. Bila kita banyak membaca, ilmu kita seluas empire. Kita boleh ke mana-mana dengan membaca. Jadi saya bersetuju dengan hujah Pak Aryo itu, bahawa seseorang anak itu perlu didedahkan dengan buku semenjak umur 7 hari. Ya, 7 hari. Jadi apa yang saya katakan di sini, kita kena banyak membaca, walau apapun bacaan yang bermanfaat. Saya ulang, bermanfaat. Yang kurang bermanfaat, macam gosip-gosip, tinggalkan, sebab itu akan mengganggu kelancaran fikiran kita. Surat khabar, koran, buku-buku universities, buku-buku agama, buku-buku apapun, budaya, buku-buku psikologi, silakan untuk menambah ilmu kita sebagai membantu diri kita untuk menghasilkan satu karya yang baik, insya-Allah. Cuma di atasnya itu kita ada ranking-ranking. Atasnya itu adalah doa. Yang bawah ni tugas kita sebagai manusia yang saya katakan tadilah. Dan apabila benda itu dilakukan, diamalkan, insya-Allah benda ini akan lancar. Lancar. Ya. Try lah, cubalah, insya-Allah. Ya, Fauzi.
Mungkin kita dah tiba di slot. Kita akan memasuki slot question and answer. So, jadi kepada mereka semua, for all participants, if you have question, please save your question. And if you can't save your question, you don't remember, you can write in the comment section, and I will pick the best question to ask. Okay? So before we go